Hi, I'm Bill with Titletown Drones, and this is the Skydio 2. As you may be aware, the Skydio 2 is a pretty amazing piece of equipment that has tremendous obstacle avoidance capabilities. They say it's nearly impossible to crash one of these. However, I managed to crash it, so I just wanted to share my experience with you and hopefully help you avoid doing what I did. So I just wanted to explain to you what happened. So I was working with my neighbors. They have this beautiful pond that's frozen over, and they've turned it into this amazing ice skating rink. So they asked me to come over and film them and take some pictures of the property and the rink and all of that. I thought, you know, what better tool than the Skydio to chase them around on the pond and to get some pretty amazing shots, which it did do. It was a sunny day, and the sun was starting to get a little bit lower in the sky, so there was some glare off of this ice on the pond. I had this in the motion track mode, and it was doing a pretty good job of following them around. As they kind of skirted the edge of the pond, there's a lot of trees around, and the Skydio took that turn kind of wide, and it got itself behind a tree, so it lost track of them. So that was the first time, which wasn't a big deal because it did actually avoid hitting anything. It just stopped, and I had to manually fly it over the top of a tree to get it out of trouble. But the second time this happened, it was on a different day, and the sun was really bright, and there was a lot of glare coming off of this ice, and it happened in the same spot. They came around the end of the pond, and the Skydio was kind of looping around, and it got itself behind that tree. And I'm going to make some assumptions what I think happened. It went from really bright light into a shady area, and the obstacle avoidance cameras maybe couldn't adjust in time, or there was still some glare, but something prevented them from working correctly. And this thing smucked into a tree and it fell down to the snow. So fortunately, we just had a fresh snow, so it was like landing on a pillow. It was just this soft, fluffy layer of snow. And it fell down into the snow, and when it hit, the battery must have popped off because it was just laying in the snow right next to it. But as you may know, these things get really hot, and when this thing's laying in the snow, it just started to melt into the snow right away, so water was getting all over it. And so I pulled it out right away. I blew it out, cleaned it all out. I examined it. The only thing I could find wrong was there was one propeller that had broken off. So I went and replaced that propeller, did a thorough inspection. I was pretty comfortable that there was no damage to anything. So what I wound up doing was giving it a test flight, and we went around another couple of times, and it was perfect. So no harm done. So the lesson learned here is that this thing has limitations. One is they warn you, Skydio warns you about being around trees because it can't detect thin branches and power lines and things like that. The other thing is when you're going from like really bright light to maybe a darker area like shade, this thing isn't going to be able to adjust that quickly. I'd plan your flight out a little bit where you can keep this thing kind of away from the tree line a little bit more, and I'm sure you'll be fine. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click the like button. If you'd like to see other videos like this one, please subscribe to my channel.